Hey guys, Miss Clemons here. We are going to look today at page 233 and 234. We're going to be solving problems about time, and we're going to need to be able to tell time to the minute, which is what we've been practicing. So we're going to study the problem, showing how to tell time to the minute, and then solve problems 1 through 7. For our example problem, we have this dude named Oscar. He took his pet hamster out of its cage to play. The clock shows what time it was. What time did Oscar take the hamster out of the cage? So we look, the hour hand is between 7 and 8 o'clock. It takes 5 minutes for the hand to move from one hand to the next. It takes 1 minute for the minute hand to move from one little mark to the next. So if we count by fives till 3, we'll go 5, 10, 15. Then we count 2 more minutes by ones, 1, 2, which takes us up to 17. So the clock shows 17 minutes after 7, or 7:17. Now we're going to draw lines to match clocks that show the same time. And I'm going to zoom in on this to make it easier for us to see the clock and easier for me to write on it with my computer mouse, because that's not always easy. Haha. All right, so looking at this first clock, we see that our hour hand is after the 3, so it's 3 something. Now I'm going to look at my minutes: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Then one more makes this 3:41. So I should draw a line and match it to 3:41. And it says 3:41 p.m., so that would be like in the evening, like the afternoon time. All right, our next clock, our hour hand is between the 10 and 11. So we're after 10 o'clock. We're not till 11 o'clock yet. And we're going to start at 12 and count by fives: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then I'm going to count by ones: 26, 27. So, excuse me. So the time here is 10:27 a.m. So that would be in the morning time. And down here, this last part of problem number 1. This hour hand looks like it's on the 6, but if I look really closely, I can see that it's not quite there yet. See, let me zoom in just a little bit more so that you can really see. See, if I continue to draw it, see, it's right there. Super close, but it's not there yet. So that means even though it looks like it's pointing to the 6 o'clock, we're still in the 5 o'clocks. So it's 5, and then my minute hand is on the 11. And I could say 11 times 5 is 55, and that would get me pretty close. Or we can just count by fives around the clock: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And if I see it doesn't go all the way to the 11, so we're not going to keep counting by fives. Now we got to count by ones. So we're 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So the time here is 5:54, and we match that on up. All right, let's turn the page over. Look at the arrows on the clock. Count by fives and by ones to find the minutes before the hour. Fill in the blanks. All right, so I'm gonna come over here to my little text box. So after 5, what would come next? That would be 10. And then we're counting by ones. So 10, 11. And after 11, we know comes 12, then 13, then, oops, then 14. So it is 14 minutes before which hour? Well, look at your hour hand. It's already in the 4 o'clocks, and we're getting close to the 5 o'clock. So it's 14 minutes before 5 o'clock because it's not there yet. 14 minutes before 5. And let's just go ahead and do this correctly. Let me click on it. There we go. 14 minutes before 5 o'clock. All right, for question number 3, we're going to write the time in 2 ways. So it's going to have us doing minutes before and how many minutes, like what the time is. So looking at my first clock, my hour hand, which is the short one. Let's go back to our drawing tool. It's between 10 and 11, so it means it's sometime after 10. We just got to figure out how long after 10 it is, but it is 10 something. All right, so let's start at our 12 and count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And you can see it doesn't make it all the way to the 40. So now we got to count by ones. So 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So the time is 10:39. Let's go ahead and just type that on there. Now it wants to know how many minutes before the next hour. Well, right now it's on 10 o'clock. So the next hour would be 11 o'clock. So we're trying to figure out how many minutes before we get to 11 o'clock. So I'm going to change my color and we're going to count backwards from our 12. It's going to let me change my color. Drawing. There we go, Miss Clemons. Get with it. All right. 5. Hey, I said change color. Cooperate, little thing. Thank you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21. So it's 21 minutes before 11. And that makes sense because if there are 60 minutes in an hour. And if I were to add 39 plus 21, I would get 60. And that would mean that my minute hand would have traveled all the way around the clock. So I think we did a good job there. All right, question number 4. Let's figure out the time first. We're between the 6 and the 7 on our hour hand. So we know we're not to the 7 yet. So we're still in the 6 o'clocks. So it's 6 something. Now we got to use our strategy. We're going to count by fives and then by ones to figure out the time to the minute. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48. Let me just double check that. Let me zoom in. 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay. I wanted to make sure that was right because I was not sure if it was looking at the 48 or the 47, but that is definitely 6:48. And so we need to know how many minutes before the next hour. Well, the next hour, right now it's 6 o'clock, so the next hour is going to be 7 o'clock. So it's 6:48, and we want to figure out how many more minutes until 7 o'clock. So here we are. We're going to go back to drawing, and 5, 10, and look, I can't go all the way back here because it came after. So 10, 11, 12. So it is 12 minutes before 7 o'clock. And that makes sense because 48 plus 12 makes, guess what, 60. So that takes us up to our next hour from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. All right, question number 5. It is 22 minutes before 4 o'clock. So it's not 4 o'clock yet. So what time is it? If you said we're still in the 3 o'clocks, you are correct, but it's only 22 minutes before 4. So since it's telling us the time before, let's start here and just count backwards 22 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so I'm going to want my minute hand. My minute hand's the long one, so it pretty much touches. That's what I like to do. My minute hand touches, and then I do my hour hand about halfway. And we said it's before 4 o'clock, so we're still in the 3 o'clocks. I'm going to do that one shorter so that we can show that that's definitely between the 3 and the 4. All right, question 6. It's 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. So that means it's just turned 9 o'clock because 9 minutes is not very long. And 9 o'clock, you'd have your hour hand pointing right at your 9. You'd have your minute hand pointing directly at your 12. But we need it to go 9 minutes after. So that'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's almost to this 2. So let me see if it'll let me select. Oh, it put them together. All right, guys, I was hoping it would just let me pick up that part and move it, but it's not going to happen, so we're going to just redraw it. So 9:09. Make that minute hand nice and long so that we can tell the difference between your hour hand and your minute hand. All right, last question. Write the times from problems 5 and 6 on the clocks below. Oh, so now we have to go back and see what time it was. Well, question 6 that we just did, that one was easy. 9:09. We just said that a bunch of times. So I'm going to come down here, and it's 9:09, and that is our time. Now, on question 5, we figured out the 22 minutes before 4, and we knew it was in the 3 o'clocks, but we never figured out how many minutes that was. So we need to go back and count that. So 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. So the time is 3:38, and that's in the PMs. And that is our last question on today's work. Have a great day. Don't forget to do your dream box if you're able. You should have some new assignments on there about telling time so that you can show me how brilliant you are. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.